So I just finished another Temple of Water experience with Black Rose, and I kind of wanted to share it with you because it was quite interesting. It was quite intense. So as you may know, I've been going through the Black Rose online courses at the Mystic Dream Academy, run by Storm Fairy Wolf and Devin Hunter, and I've been going through them, and right now I'm working through month 8, which is the Temple of Water. I have to admit, I'm having a lot of fun. It's shockingly fun in the Temple of Water. The Temple of Fire was really intense and really, the element of fire, and then Temple of Air was also surprisingly intense, but it was more intense in the way that a hurricane is intense. The Temple of Water is intense in its own way, but it's very, how do I put this? It's fun. It's weirdly entertaining. Like the water itself is just sort of like, yeah, whatever, man. Let's dance around and do some stuff. So I'm kind of surprised by how much I'm connecting directly with the element of water, which I guess kind of makes sense simply because I've always been drawn to water. For the longest time, I thought it was a water sign, but I'm Sagittarius, so no, I'm a fire sign. But only because that's how drawn to water that I am. I was in swim class for 4 years straight, and I had the opportunity to be on the swim team. I just never chose to because I'm not really keen on competition. That's not really my thing. And I've always, the majority of my life, up until, I don't know, maybe a couple of years, the dolphin was my own personal symbol. It was my own personal spirit animal. I've since found out what my actual spirit animal is by doing a meditation, because it came to me as a little koala dude. Oh, he was awesome. It was really cool. I actually miss my little guy. I should do one. I should do that again soon. Yeah. So this month we journeyed from the Black Rose Temple into the Temple of Water, where I met the guardian there, who is a blue serpent. And to my mind, he came to me as he almost looked like a water dragon, almost one of those like Chinese dragons. He even had like the little whiskers coming out and everything, and he was all like snaking around. He was hilarious. He was surprisingly snarky. Like I said, it was a lot more fun than I was expecting. So I actually followed him in there. We connected, and he took me to the temple. As we were going to the temple, he took me into the ocean and into the bottom floor, and he showed me this way off in the distance. There was this murky sort of hazy, I couldn't quite make it out. It looked like it was some kind of like underground ruins or some sort of like frozen statues and stuff of like an old decrepit city kind of thing, just like covered in water. And the serpent informed me that is my internal self. That is the stuff that I've buried, the stuff that I haven't acknowledged as being a part of me in decades. And so he told me that to move forward the best I can with my path is to make peace with my past, to make peace with who I was. And I think that's really valuable. I think that's really valuable, obviously, for anybody, but in my particular instance, it's something that I've never really gotten into. In a lot of witchcraft, there's this big concept of know thyself, right? And so learning myself is something that I have always strived to do, but only very recently have been able to do. If you've listened to my new podcast thing that I got going, which may or may not continue, we'll see how I feel about it. I do talk about it in the second one, which also may or may not be out by this point. If you're watching this further down the line, then yeah, it's probably out already. And so I'm really beginning to dive into my past. I'm really beginning to understand what it is within me that I've buried, what it is within me that I've gone through and ignored. And so as such, I, through like journaling, through meditation, through, that's its own video. We'll get into that in its own right. Yeah. So I began journaling, and I've discovered many things about myself and one particularly big thing that I've buried. I'm not quite ready to share with you yet. I will probably share that with you because I feel like it's something that's totally justified in talking about. And something that part of making peace with that past is talking about it. And I think that's true for pretty much anyone. If you're going through and you're experiencing that sort of that fear of your past, or that of running away from your past, which I 100% have done and have been doing for a very long time. If we're running away from that, then we have no way to move forward because it's always going to be anchoring us to the ground. And so we have to remove those anchors by making peace with that, by dealing with it, by addressing it directly, addressing it head on. That is when we can move forward, and that's when we can begin to grow, and that's when we become better, not only just witches and pagans and occultists or whatever, but also just better humans. We can be better for the world around us. We can be better for the environment. We can be better for the people who live with us, the people who live in our communities. We can just be better at engaging in the world in a way that is healthy and positive. And that I think is wonderful. So after we went through the whole going through the temple thing, which I'm not going to get into here because I feel like that's too specific. And if you would like to learn more about it, please go check out Black Rose at themysticdreamacademy.com. It's totally worth the money if you're interested in finding a course that teaches you how to perform magic. It's great for beginners. It's so good. They've set it up really, really well. Highly recommend it. So after going through the whole temple experience, I did because part of what you have to do with all these different things is you have these different little things. And so this is my chalice. Yeah, this is my chalice. It's just a freaking glass. I mean, it doesn't, because as it turns out, you can imbibe magical properties on anything because that's how things work. If we're going to take this to the extreme, the concept of magic, then the concept that everything is alive and has its own spirit, what's known as animism, indicates that you can literally use magic for anything. That you can turn, I can just turn this little tiny mason jar that we happen to have and make it into something magical and make it into something beyond its normal mundane self, which I've done. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop playing with magical objects now, you know what I'm saying? And so I went through and I imbibed that glass with the properties of the ocean, with the properties of the magical chalice. In doing so, raised an incredible amount of energy. And for anybody who's been following me also on Instagram, I'm also still in the middle of doing my 36 Days of Iron Pentacle experience. I will maybe link, maybe there's if I could do a card thing, I might try to do a card somewhere, wherever the heck that pops up at, to link to that video. And I'll also put a link down below. Check it out, it's great. I normally don't eat, we do this like intermittent fasting thing until noon. So I don't eat until like noon, and I can only eat until 8 p.m. kind of thing. And then nothing beyond that. But it was about 10:30 this morning, and all of a sudden I was just shaking really bad, and I was like, I had all this energy afterwards, and I just didn't, a lot of dealing with especially Blue Rose is the importance of not giving away your energy. So things like grounding out energy that you aren't going to be using is actually kind of anti-good. Is that a thing? I don't think that's exactly what I want to say, but it's not a viable way to rid yourself of that energy or deal with it. A better way to do it is to transform that energy into something that you can tolerate and something that you can keep, because you want to keep as much energy as possible, especially being into witchcraft, in order to use that for magic. And so normally I don't eat, but I had to go grab like the last hunk of the bread I made and some peanut butter, and I just put that extra energy into the bread so that it would transform into something more earthy and a little bit more grounded version of that energy. So I put it all in there and I sat there and I ate, and also while eating that also just grounds you, and so that's a really good way to do it without putting your energy somewhere else. You're just taking energy in, but it still helps. And so I was able to transform that energy into something more usable. And so now I feel extremely grounded and great. And then I did my Kundalini yoga. which also helps the grounding. So I just wanted to quickly make a little video and share this experience with you. Just see how it goes. It went really well. I like it. And never forget, a witch bows to no one, not even the gods. Peace.